Hello class, enjoy the bundt cake. My word for this presentation is disability. The concept of disability is a giant topic and it generalizes a lot of information into 10 simple letters. Its definition is quite encompassing as well. According to dictionary.com, a disability is a lack of adequate power, strength, physical or mental ability, incapacity. A physical or mental handicap, especially one that prevents a person from living a full, normal life or from holding a gainful job. To this definition, I ask, what is the definition of normal, and how can one person say that they live a normal life? Cynthia Wilson, in Keywords in Writing Studies, describes the conflict in disability by questioning the origin. In 2006, the United Nations described the relationship of a body to its environment. The convention stated that adaptations must be made to those disabled in order to protect their rights. Cynthia also suggests that disabilities are socially and culturally produced. This means that there is a social expectation to health, and anybody that does not fit into that category is therefore labeled as disabled. Regardless of the origin, our society sees the disabled as a complication that needs solving. This includes a lot of factors: race, religion, language, level of college preparation, and so on. In academic institutions, the idea of standardization is imperative. However, when a person is given a disabled identity, conformity is near impossible. Technological advancements have started to close this gap, but fairness is once again questioned. If someone cannot see, they can use a Braille keyboard to write. If someone has impaired speech, they can use text-to-speech software. All of these advancements help, but do they create advantages? I look at identity as a chain with a bunch of links. Each link represents an aspect of someone's life. You have physical health, mental health, genetics, language you speak, even how you learn, and many more. Each link on the chain can be created through your experiences. These links can be created but never erased, and a disability is a break in one of those chains. Society tries to find that broken link on the chain and mend it back together. Disabilities were not quickly accepted, and it wasn't until the establishment of the Individuals with Disability Education Act in 1990 that students with disabilities began continuing their education past high school. Even today, people with disabilities are isolated from the rest. There are special schools for autistic and Down syndrome children to attend. In classes, people with learning disabilities are given IEPs or 504s and taken out of the classroom environment for testing. This isn't a bad thing, but this practice only furthers segregation. Wilson argues that teaching plans need to directly address all disabilities rather than push them to the side. When students started attending college after the 1990 Disability of Education Act, it's important to note that they did not identify or enroll in school as disabled. To a disabled person, what is normal? If they have lived their whole lives one way, how can society say that they are not normal? My family grew up thinking that breaking was normal. Half of my siblings have a disease called osteogenesis imperfecta, and this is where there's a collagen defect in the bones, so the person is susceptible to chronic breaking. 2 broken arms and a leg on one person aren't out of the ordinary for my family, just like how painting isn't out of the ordinary for Sarah Biffin. Sarah Biffin was a Victorian painter, and she was born without arms, and she was paralyzed from the chest down. She learned to paint by holding a paintbrush in her mouth, and if you saw her paintings, you would not be able to tell that she didn't have the ability to use her arms or her legs. She made her living as a painter, and the situation was normal to her because she's never known how to do anything different. The same can be said for Oscar Pistorius. He had his legs amputated below the knee when he was just 11 months old, and that didn't stop him from running in a non-disabled Olympic race. Even the IAAF objected and tried to say that his artificial legs gave him an unfair advantage in racing, but Oscar ended up winning the legal dispute, and he ran in the 2012 Summer Olympics. All of these people had challenges that made them learn differently. They had to be in society differently, and they had to act differently. However, none of these people were disabled. They were all differently abled. I think that as a society, we need to not look for the weakest link in the chain. Rather, we need to accept the weakest link, and we need to start looking at the chain as a whole instead of links.